Happy Friday, mathematicians. We are going to do a problem-solving math message together first, and then you guys get to play a fun game afterwards. All right, math message. It says, there are 6 teams on the field for a tournament. There are 54 players in all. Each team has the same amount of players. How many players are on each team? Okay, so let's figure out what this information is trying to tell us. I see that there are 6 teams on a field for this tournament, and that there are 54 players in all. The words in all are important here because it tells us the total amount of players. It says that each team has the same amount of players. So it sounds like every team is going to have the same, and we just have to figure out how many are going to be on each team. Okay, so 54 players total. We know we need to make 6 teams. We just don't know how many players are on each team, but we do know that it has to be the same number on each team. So I hear 54 in all, and we're dividing them up between 6 different teams, but we don't know how many people are on each team. So I see 54 divided by 6 equals, well, question mark. But I don't think that division is the way that I think. I think more in multiplication. And remember that multiplication and division, you can flip-flop them around and figure out what times 6 equals 54. And that's the same thing as saying 54 divided by 6. So let me rewrite this. So 6 times what equals 54. That looks a little bit easier to me because I know if I were to use a multiplication fact that I know times 6, a helper fact, I can easily get to 54 based on that. So most of us know our tens, anything times 10. So 6 times 10 is 60. And I used times 10 because I knew that it would get me to a number that is close to 54. And how close is it? Let's find out. What would I need to subtract from 60 to get to 54? 60 minus what equals 54? Or take away equals 54. Yes, so 60 minus 6 equals 54. Oops, I did not mean to put 56. 54. So I really just took one group of 6 away, right? From that 60. So instead of 10 groups of 6, it would be 9 groups of 6. So 6 times 9 equals 54. We just went one lower to get 54. We took away one group. Okay, now let me show you on a fact triangle how that works with multiplication and division. So our factors, or the things that you're multiplying by, go down on the bottom right here. And the product, or the answer to a multiplication fact, goes up at the top where that dot is. So we obviously did 6 times 9 already. 6 times 9 is 54. And then remember, the second line, you just switch around your factors. So it would be 9 times 6 equals 54. Now here comes the division that I was talking about. 54 now goes in this first spot because the biggest number goes first and you're dividing it by the factors. So 54 divided by, it doesn't matter which one you put, 6 or 9. I'm just going to put 6 first. And then the only number we have left in the triangle is 9, so it has to be 9. And 54 divided by 9 equals 6. So see how you can just flip-flop those numbers and make it into a multiplication sentence or a division sentence? That is going to help you so much when it comes to learning your math facts and realizing that there are multiple ways that you can find the answers to things. Today we are going to be looking at missing products. So what that means, or missing factors, I am so sorry. What a missing factor is kind of what we just did. You have two of the numbers already, but you don't know the last factor. So I gave you the answer to the problem and I gave you one of the factors, but we don't know that other factor right here. Okay, so you have to think, what times 2, or 2 times what, equals 8? 2 times what equals 8? The missing factor in this case would be 4, because I know that 2 times 4 equals 8. So even if they don't give you all the numbers, you can figure out the missing factor based on saying out loud, 2 times what equals 8? And then I can fill in the rest of these too. I flip-flop those numbers again, because 4 times 2, that also equals 8. And it also can become a division problem. 8 divided by, doesn't matter which one, 2 or 4. 8 divided by 2, it equals 4. And 8 divided by 4, it equals 2. Okay, you guys are going to find your own missing factors in a game called Salute. Now, you've played it in other grades before, but this is a little bit different because it's multiplication. So what this is you're given one factor. Here's one of your factors. And you have to find out what the missing factor is, which goes right here. So you want to say in your head, 5 times what, or blank, equals 25. And once you find out what that is, you're going to put it in the box that I just said right here. Now, you'll see that it says player 1, player 2, and dealer says the product is. That has to do with if we had 3 people to play the game with. I'm going to give that information on the Canvas page if you do have 2 other people that you can play with and you have your cards that we gave you. I have that. The real version of this game will be on Canvas. But if you do not have anybody else to play with, which is totally okay, this is how you're going to play it, where I gave you these numbers already, and you just have to fill in the missing boxes right here. Okay? So, if you do not have anybody else to play with, you're going to do it this way. So look at round 2. It says blank times what, or blank times 2 equals 12. So you have to find out, what can I multiply by 2 to get me to 12? And same with the next one. Blank times 6 equals 24. What can you multiply by 6 to give you 24? And do that for the last one as well. Okay, and then all you need to do down here is just explain how you found the missing factor for one of the rounds. So just tell me how you found one of the blanks right here. Okay, that's all I want down there. Okay, so go ahead and get it started on this. And if you want to play with the cards and you have family members to play with, I will have that up in a PDF, a document on Canvas with instructions. All right, go ahead and find the missing factors on this page.